What do we have here? We got a Kubey. Kubey is like the king of budget G10, decent knives. Well, one of the kings for sure. Civivi, there's some other ones, but Kubey is definitely right there. This guy is the Kubey Ruckus. Kind of a cool name. I kind of like it. It's a Sharif Manganas design. I know nothing about the gentleman. He makes a pretty cool knife. I mean, it's not bad. Nicely contoured. Inset, liners. Liner lock, obviously. What's the steel on this guy? Aus10. That's what I was thinking. It's not. Kubey used to do almost all D2 stuff on their blades, but I think they're moving more towards Aus10. I'm not sure if that's the smartest idea. I know people kind of poo-poo D2 as being kind of, a budget-only steel, but it holds an edge really well if you heat treat it right. I don't think Aus10 is going to hold an edge quite as well, but then again, you might not get maybe as many rust issues. So maybe Aus10 is better in that regard. I don't know. Clip is nice. Maybe it sticks up a little further than it needs to. It's got a nice backspacer. The only thing I didn't love about this one, well, okay, a couple of small things. And these are just like personal preference things, really. Well, okay. The blade part is not so much a personal preference. It's just a kind of a short grind from, down the primary bevel, I guess you call it. I wish it had been close to a full flat grind all the way up, so that it's just a little bit more slicey. It just feels a little fat compared to some of their other offerings. Some of their other knives are full flat grinds, pretty slicey. This guy just feels a little fat. And when you look at the blade, it's not a thick blade. It's just an average thickness blade, but it just feels a little thick coming up to the regular thickness of it so quickly. Yeah, that's all. If they'd have made that a hollow grind, it wouldn't be so bad that it terminates so quick right there. But I don't know. I'm sure it cuts 99% as well as if it had been a full flat grind. So, that's my critique on the blade. The handle, it actually feels pretty good. Not bad. It just feels a little blocky right in here because it's almost as wide as it is tall. So that's more of a personal thing. Action's pretty good. Pretty close to drop shutty. I've done nothing to it, so pivot is a tiny bit loose. Let's tighten that up to make sure we're not just getting loose pivot action. I'm not one who really buys into that idea. Oh, if you just loosen the pivot up, it makes it drop shutty. It usually doesn't. That's not really a thing. Let's try it on this one. Let's see. Is it drop shutty? It's shake shutty, real close to drop shutty. Let's see, do I have it tight? Let's see, I don't want to have it over tight. Let's loosen it up and get it right where I would normally put it, just past where it can wobble. Okay, so that to me is right where it needs to be. If I had, okay, I do have Loctite. If I was going to Loctite this, that would be right where it is. Okay, so it's almost drop shutty. With the slightest impetus, it drops. All right, now let's loosen the pivot to where it's a little looser and actually has some slop. And let's see, is it more drop shutty? Still needs a little help to get down. So I think that kind of proves my point. If you have a knife that's isn't drop shutty, most of the time, loosening the pivot until it's stupidly loose, and this is pretty loose, like I'm wobbling this thing back and forth, is not going to make it drop shutty, because that's not what affects the drop really. Now, if you have a pivot that's too tight, and then you loosen it, yeah, that might affect it because it was too tight. But if it's set right, loosening it most of the time isn't going to do it, because what causes a knife to be drop shutty or not is usually that little ball that's built into the lock bar that rubs on the blade. How hard is it rubbing on the blade? Is it rubbing on the blade enough to stop it from being drop shutty? Or is it such a light touch that it lets it just fall? So that's pretty much what defines whether a knife's going to be drop shutty or not. And a lot of people say, who cares if it's drop shutty? Well, I do. I kind of like them to be, you know, pretty drop shutty. I like that. So this guy has pretty good action. How's their front flipper? Well, I've only tried it a few times. Let's give it a shot right here and see how the front flipping action is. I feel like this part right here is a little too close to your front flipper. I can feel my finger just kind of, or thumb, getting up on top of it and kind of getting in the way a bit. But it's not too bad. Yeah, I would say it's pretty good. I would say of front flippers I've tried, you know, 10 being the best. This is a 7 or an 8, something like that. Pretty good. Yeah, my finger definitely doesn't want to slip off like some do because they don't have enough grip. The jimping there is not bad. Pretty well done, I would say. Yeah, I've definitely felt worse jimping that's either too grabby or too slippery. So, good job on that, Kubey. It also acts as sort of a thumb rest like this. There's no real choke up position. I mean, you could kind of put your finger there. It's not terrible. But, I think here is probably where you'd want it. That's as far up as you're going to go. You know, it's funny. This blade reminds me of another blade. I'm going to go grab it. Now, I'm definitely not saying they copied the blade, but the two blades are pretty similar. We got the Kubey Ruckus and we got the Civivi, and also there's Wii versions too. The Wii was first. The Wii Synergy. So we got, was a little rust on the edge of there? Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. So we got the Wii Synergy versus the Kubey Ruckus. Very similar blade shape and design, you know, other than this little top part there. But the way it's curved, the way the primary grind runs into this, you know, little swedge at the top, pretty similar. The swedge on this one is a little deeper, and the grind is deeper to where you only have this little tiny bit of flat on the Synergy. But on the Kubey one, it just is a little short for me, this primary grind. That's all. So, you know, you're looking at the optimized version of what this blade would be if you did a little bit better, a little more flat grind, and made it feel a little slicier. And I say feel a little slicier because I don't really know if it would be any slicier, you know, in practice. But looking at it, it would look better with more grind going up higher. It just would. Now, Kubey is, usually their G10 models are all real close to or inside the budget range for me, which is $50. $50 or under. I saw this one and assumed it was going to be budget. The damn things are $70 on the Kubey site. That is too much money for this knife. This is not a $70 knife. This is a $45 to $55 knife in my opinion. Now, I looked on Amazon and they had a sale. They were like 30% off or something, or 25% off or something, and they were $56. Now, if you like this design, I say the quality is there for $56. That's fair. It's not some kind of great deal, but it's fair. Okay, so that's my opinion on it. Boy, look at the designer's logo. That's pretty cool. Got a little falcon there, I think. I wonder if manganus is like some kind of word for a falcon or some kind of bird. I don't know. I think it's just his name. But, again, it's not quite, I'm calling it a part of the budget week here where we're doing budget knives, but it's $56. So it's $6 over the budget price on Amazon and quite a bit over the budget price on the Kubey site. But I bet if you looked on eBay, I bet you could find a used one for like $35, $40. That's my bet. I haven't actually looked, but I bet you could. I do like the, it's got the peel ply texture, and then it's got these fairly aggressive angles down here. I like that. That's a nice look. I wish it was a little taller maybe in the handle. But shit, this is the design. This is what it is. Mr. Manganus made it to be like this, and it's not bad. Oh, they have a, I'll put it up here. They have one with like brass bolsters, a little bit higher end one. I think those are more. I'll put the price above it too. And those are the ones that are a little more tempting to me. I got this one in a trade, so it's not like I picked this one out specifically. If I was to purchase one of these Ruckuses, I think I might get the one with the cool bolster. So that's this one here. So I'll put the price there, and you can decide. But, you know, pretty cool knife. Pretty neat little front flipper. The thumb studs work great. Definitely no slipping off on those. Reverse flick is fine. The D10 is good enough to make it work for both. I would say it's a little on the strong side for the reverse flick, but I mean, that's going to be normal. And then for the thumb flick, I would say it's dead on, the D10. So, let's see, it's not going to flop out. Oh, okay, yeah, if you flick it enough, it'll flop out, but it's good, strong D10. It's not weak. Well, you know, you guys decide. Is it a good deal at 56? I don't think anyone in their right mind is saying this is a good deal at 70. I think they're a little off their rocker there at Kubey. But 56, I think it's fair. So grab one of these Ruckuses if you like it, and have a nice day. And here are the winners, actually, you know, typed out and not just, you know, babbled about. So double check these. Let me know if I got anything wrong. First through fifth place, Philip Sapa, Jared Brock, 608 Mustang, Dwayne Letterman, Shane Cameron. Then in the honorable mention category, we got 6 Scale, C Walker, and Alive and Kicking. And I added another little category. It's kind of like sharing with other channels, a professional courtesy type gift. So that would be B.E. Bedman EDC and Hollywood Tactical. Everybody listed there is getting something. So I'll be dropping you a little reply on your post, and it'll have my email address, so you can email me and we can get your shipping address and get your prizes. Everybody have a nice day.